Welcome. I'm Jody Pollock-Newsome, Executive Director of the Michigan Wheat Program, and I would like to take the next few minutes to give you an update on what's happened through the Michigan Wheat Program as we near our decade of dedication for Michigan's wheat growers. First, you might ask, when you look at a checkoff program for Michigan, why would we need one for wheat? When we look at production, our average yield record for the state was 89 bushels per acre back in 2016. That gave us a state yield of almost 51 million bushels. A very important thing for those 51 million bushels is to make sure they have a home. And that is one of the very unique opportunities for growers here in Michigan. When we look at processing in the Great Lakes region, we have all these different millers and end users looking for that wheat that we grow right here in the Great Lakes state. When we look at what our mission is, we certainly are looking at all those different components, but really our main focus is on the growers to make sure we have that viable, thriving, and growing wheat industry. And in order to make sure we have that for growers, we need to make sure that the entire industry is working together and that we are thriving. How it all started back in 2011, growers voted in the Michigan Wheat Program by about 54%. In December of 2011, the board had been appointed and had their first meeting. May of 2012, assessment collection began, and then in August, the first research projects were funded. Research has definitely been the key component, the major focus of the Michigan Wheat Program. To date, nearly 150 research projects have been funded, and that is almost $3.5 million worth of research. If you look at the annual budget, between 60 and 65% of the board's budget each year is spent on research projects. When we look at those projects, here's a list of all the different areas where those projects are funded, all the different focuses that the board has had. Probably one that is certainly of most importance that came on really early on was when the board looked at high management. The board wanted to make sure that those variety trials, those performance trials were done in high management conditions, just as they're done on farms. So that the growers would know what's going to make the most sense. If I'm only going to put this much into my crop or have this many resources, these are going to be the varieties that are going to perform better with high management. And these are the varieties that are going to perform better without. So we're really looking at what can we do and help those growers when we look at their bottom line. And looking ahead, you certainly need the projects, but in addition to the projects, you also need the people. The Michigan Wheat Program Board funded Martin Nagelkirk for several years while he was at MSU Extension. And now that he's retired, the board is still bringing him on, doing projects, working with him, sending funding his way, because we're not really letting him retire quite yet. The Michigan Wheat Program Board also put funding into the Eric Olson position with several other organizations, including the millers and end users, so that Michigan State would know how important that wheat breeder position is. And to date, the Michigan Wheat Program has stayed with that funding of Eric, and now we fund about half of the projects that Eric does through the Michigan Wheat Program. The most recent boots on the ground come from Dennis Pennington, the MSU wheat specialist. That is also a partnership with Michigan State University. And that partnership, we each split the cost of Dennis to make sure we have someone on campus that is totally focused on wheat. And then Dennis also works with us very closely here in the office to make sure that we're moving ahead and we're working on projects and really splitting some of that work and some of those responsibilities to keep wheat on the cutting edge in our state. You know, when you look at stools, they always have the three-legged stool we talk about. Well, we have the research projects, we have the people, we also have the infrastructure. It also became very apparent that we needed to make sure that there was land available to add all this additional wheat research. So we were able to work with MSU and over several years make payments to add $700,000 to MSU, which enabled them to buy some additional land up for the Saginaw Valley Research and Extension Center. So that's been able to grow, and MSU has committed to 25 years of wheat research from the university. in exchange for the funding provided from the Michigan Wheat Program. We've also looked at other infrastructure needs, and about $250,000 has been spent on equipment, such as a new research combine to update other combines. There's another shared combine with soybeans. So we put some funding in with soybeans to be able to do that. We partnered with dry beans to get a new research combine that is shared with them. We were also able to put money in on the precision planter, and we've been able to put funding into Martin Nagelkirk to help him with some equipment and even some quality testing equipment with Perry Ang and his lab on campus. So again, here we go, close to $1 million on infrastructure that's been able to happen thanks to the Michigan Wheat Program through the Wheat Checkoff. Certainly, we need to make sure that we have our research covered. We want to make sure growers are covered, and one of those comes along with quality. Early on, growers said that there were issues when they looked at their coverage, when they looked at falling numbers. So we were able to work with RMA and also through a private company and get information of 41,000 observations, which included about 53 million bushels of wheat. And they really looked at what's the actual discount that the farmer got at the elevator versus what is that discount when we look at the charts. And in 2016, we were very excited to announce that our agreement with RMA was that for below 200, growers would actually be covered through their insurance on the actual price received, and they were able to submit settlement sheets. So for us, that was a huge win early on to be able to get changes made and to be able to look out and help cover our growers. The next issue that came up was certainly with growers when we looked at adjustments. A lot of times when there was a quality loss, that ended up being a yield adjustment, which then would really affect growers for the long term. So it was an issue that came up in Michigan. We worked through the National Association of Wheat Growers with several other organizations and are very excited to report that in sign up for 2020, which will affect this 21 crop, yield is no longer affected as growers are able to, through their crop insurance coverage, they can actually pay and get a quality adjustment. So again, another exciting opportunity for growers looking out for what affects you and what affects your bottom line. As we've done this work and done this research, I think the most important thing is to make sure that we're informing growers and that you know what's going on. So in the past, we've always done our annual meeting. This year, because of the challenges of COVID, we are going to be doing 6 Michigan Wheat Wisdom webinars starting February 27th and running through March 24th. Those will be Wednesdays at 8:00 a.m. So you can go to our website, learn more, get registered. And then we will also be back this summer, June 9th at the MSU Pathology Farm with our annual summer field day, where hopefully things are better then and we can load you on wagons and we can head out to the fields. If you have questions or if you have time this winter, you can always go to our website, mywheat.org, under the education tab, and then go to previous events. And we will have all of the past annual meetings and field days. You can look at the agenda and then just simply click on which presentation you want to see. So great opportunities to be able to get to those presentations and hear that information when you have time and when you need it. The other thing we've been able to do is an e-newsletter. We are at about 2,000 readers that receive our monthly e-newsletter. And really what it's meant to do is just give you quick snippets about what's going on in the industry and what is information that you need to know. You can go to the website, mywheat.org, go up under the media section, and you can see all of those past newsletters, which now number over 75 if you look at how many of those we've done. And we also have our annual report, which is up there for you to take a look. And we've been able to do these events, these activities, and these communications with several of the different partners that we work with. Something new that we've been working on and haven't talked as much about is our YouTube channel. And you can see our very own wheat specialist, Dennis Pennington, out there explaining last fall. He was able to put together a quick video on how to scout your wheat field for frost injury when we had those really cold days that popped up for us in the fall. Right now, there's 93 videos on our Michigan Wheat YouTube channel. which equates to about 48 hours of YouTube learning. That also has the videos from all of our winter meetings and our summer field days. So if you have a chance, go there, visit. There's a lot of information out there that's available for growers. As we look ahead and say, what do the next 5 or 10 years have to bring? We want to continue our investment in research to make sure that we have profitability for farmers and good high quality wheat. We also need to continue to develop communication links to share information with farmers. The programs that we've done the last year, some of the virtual opportunities, all those things, we're looking to see what else we can do to get information to growers, but still keep our face-to-face opportunities open. We're also going to continue to monitor crop insurance and see what else we can do to make sure our growers have adequate coverage. We're going to work on our partnerships and continue to leverage dollars and still keep our presence in the consumer information arena. It's not a large presence, but that is a really expensive place to be. So we try to partner with other groups and do events and activities. So how do we keep this wheat opportunities moving and keep the industry growing? Well, as growers, you're going to have the opportunity to make those decisions. Our continuation referendum is March 22nd through April 2nd of 2021. This is really our signature postcard. So hopefully you all get this postcard. If you get these postcards in the mail for our upcoming events, you are already on the list to make sure that you get a ballot. If you don't get this postcard, please get a hold of me. Let me know. I'm going to give you more information at the end so you know how to reach me. But basically what's going to happen is you're going to get a ballot in the mail from the Michigan Department of Agriculture, and make sure you very carefully follow those directions. Fill out those ballots. You'll be able to vote yes or no if you want the Michigan Wheat Program to continue for 5 more years and keep up a lot of the work that we've already talked about, keep up the focus on research. Those are our plans for the future. Make sure you sign that and make sure it is postmarked by April 2nd, 2021. If you do not get these postcards and you want to make sure you're on the mailing list, here's my information, Jody Pollock Newsom. You can email me, you can call me, you can fax me, you can get a hold of me through Facebook, and just let me know, and we will make sure that you are on the mailing list and you get the information so you can participate in the vote. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to an update on what your dollars are doing through the Michigan Wheat Program.